There's no form of poker more pure than No Limit Hold'em, and there's no form of No Limit Hold'em more pure than playing Heads Up. When you first start our Heads Up trainer, you're presented with the option to play either a Heads Up cash game or a Heads Up sit and go. Let's start with the cash game. Note that if you're using our mobile game, the options may look slightly different. First, we need to select our opponent. By clicking in this box with the red outline, I can change opponents. The left arrow on this side will take me to the easier opponents. You can see their skill level here, right below their avatar. The right arrow will take you to the harder opponents, and eventually to our site pros. And it all ends with the 2016 main event champion Qui Win, the toughest opponent of all. Once you've chosen your opponent, you can choose the blind level here. Keep in mind this doesn't affect your opponent's skill level, it's just for picking whatever blind level you feel comfortable at. You'll also notice a No Theme button up here. This just removes some of the graphics and images from the poker game if you find them distracting. I won't cover the advisor settings, hands to deal, or the choose your position drop-downs, since they are covered in other videos. But if you wanted to practice specific hands or freeze the button, you could do that here, just like in our other poker games. Next, configure your starting stack and your opponent's starting stack to your liking. This drop-down here controls when your opponent reloads their stack. You can configure them to reload when they've lost half their chips, or not to reload until they go broke. Of course, you can reload your stack whenever you want, and I'll get to that later. This small fixed button over here is for if you want to start each hand with the exact same stack size. For example, currently I've configured the game for $2, $5 blinds and a 500 chip starting stack. If I wanted to practice playing short stacked, I could set this down to 100 instead. Then I'd click the fixed button, and then I'd click the submit button. And now you'll notice that regardless of what happens on each hand, I always start the next hand with exactly 100 chips. Well, before paying the blinds. I won't cover most of the options on the game screen here, since they are covered in other videos. But I'll quickly point out these small buttons over here, which will help you quickly select the minimum legal bet size, or a half pot bet, a 3/4 pot bet, a full pot size bet, or an all-in bet. Also, when you're ready to get more chips or select a different opponent, click this button up here. It will make you finish the current hand, and then it will take you back to the configuration screen. So that's about it for the Heads Up Cash Game Simulator. Now let's restart the game and go back to the main screen, and this time we'll play a Heads Up Sit and Go. This is just a miniature tournament between two players. The winner gets all the prize money, and the loser gets nothing. All the same opponents are available, and you can select one by clicking in this box, just like for the cash game. Down here I enter the buy-in. Currently I have $100 entered. That means the winner of this tournament will get $200 in virtual money, and the loser will get nothing. In this next box, I enter how many chips I want each player to start with. And hands per level controls how quickly the blinds go up. Remember, this is a tournament. Currently, I have it set for the blinds to go up every 15 hands. You can click Show Level down here to see all the blind levels. I click Submit whenever I'm ready to start. Since this is a tournament, I can't add any more chips to my stack or change opponents in the middle of the tournament. Up here you can see the current blind level, the next blind level, how many hands until the next blind level, and the size of the pot at the moment. So that's about it for the Heads Up simulator. The last thing I'll say is, if you've never played Heads Up before, please note that the blinds are the reverse of what you're used to. As you can see here, the player on the button pays the small blind and has to act first pre-flop. Also, Heads Up strategy is very different than the strategy for playing at a full table. You'll want to use the Advice button here, and then click the Brain button that comes up. The My Strategy section, shown here, will really help you with your pre-flop decision making. Virtually any starting hand can be raised from the button when playing Heads Up, and that takes some getting used to if you've never played Heads Up before. If you have any questions, you can contact us anytime or ask in our forum. Now start training and get ready to ignite your game.